Welcome! In this tutorial, we're going to improve the fluidity of a sprite animation by adding hand-drawn in between frames. We'll go step by step through a traditional pixel art workflow, focusing on manual techniques to enhance motion and timing. Here we have Sonic from the 16-bit Sega Genesis era. This walk animation uses only 6 frames, which gives it that classic look, but it can feel a bit stiff. By drawing additional in-between frames, we can double the frame count and make the movement feel much smoother and more natural. To do this, we'll be using sprite sheets from Sprite Resource, along with LibreSprite and GIMP. I chose this setup because everything is completely free, easy to use, and perfect for a traditional hand-drawn pixel art workflow. You'll find all the links in the video description. First, we'll copy or download the sprite sheet from Sprite Resource. If you have the image in your clipboard, you can simply paste it into GIMP. Once the sprite sheet is loaded, we'll start extracting the frames for the walk animation. Use the Select by Color tool to remove the alpha background from all the sprites at once. Next, switch to the Rectangle Select tool and carefully select the full sprite area. This step gives us the exact pixel dimensions of the sprite, which we'll then copy to the clipboard. Now we can move on to LibreSprite. Simply create a new project, set the canvas size to 66 by 66 pixels, keep the color mode set to RGBA, and make sure the background is transparent. Click OK to create the workspace, then paste the image we copied from GIMP. Next, we'll create the extra frames required for the extended animation. You'll see them appear in the timeline at the bottom of LibreSprite as we work. Now let's return to GIMP and copy the 5 remaining frames individually. Back in LibreSprite, we'll paste them with an empty frame between each frame, leaving space for the in-between drawings. Once all the sprites are in place, we can preview the animation by pressing the Enter key. With onion skin enabled, we can see both the previous and the next frame from the current position. This is the most useful tool when creating new in-between frames. The first 2 frames use the same head orientation for Sonic, so we can simply copy it. LibreSprite selection tools are very orthogonal, so for this task, GIMP works better using the free Select tool. Once Sonic's head is copied, we'll paste it into the first empty frame of the animation. Using the left and right arrow keys, we can move between frames. Through a bit of trial and error, we'll position it so it sits roughly halfway between its position in frame 1 and its position in frame 3. We can rename a layer by double-clicking on it. Let's name this layer Sonic. Next, we'll create an additional layer to draw a simple pseudo-rig that will guide the arm movement. Choose a contrasting color and draw the arm pseudo-bones on frame 1. Then do the same on frame 3. Now, let's go back to frame 2 and temporarily hide the Sonic layer. This allows us to see the arm position in both the previous and next frames at the same time. This view gives us a much clearer idea of where the arm should be placed in this new mid-frame. We'll repeat the same process we used for the head, this time with one of the hands from the first 2 frames. We'll copy the hand from frame 1 and position it in LibreSprite roughly halfway between its placement in frame 1 and frame 3. Having the hand in place, along with the pseudo-rig, helps us draw the arm as evenly and naturally as possible. Now we'll copy the second hand and paste it into LibreSprite. Using it as a reference, we can slightly adjust the first hand to create a proper mid-frame. With the hand adjusted, we can remove the extra reference and move on to drawing the arm. Use the eyedropper tool to sample the color, then start tracing using the new hand as a guide. The pseudo-rig layer is still visible, so I'm drawing underneath it for now. I'll turn it off in a moment to focus on the Sonic layer and repeat the process for the second color. Frame 2 is looking good. Now we'll repeat the same process for the right foot. We'll copy it from GIMP, paste it into our mid-frame in LibreSprite, and do the same with the next original frame. Optionally, we can draw guidelines to help with the foot's mid-rotation. We'll draw 2 lines matching the angle of each foot. Then add an average line to guide how much rotation is needed. To rotate the selection, place the cursor near one of the corner handles and move it slightly outward until the icon changes to rotation. Then simply click and drag to rotate. Pixel by pixel, we'll clean up any distortion caused by the rotation. Once that's done, we can remove the guide elements and position the foot correctly between the previous and the next frame. Let's continue with some manual drawing to refine Sonic's silhouette. We can take small parts from the next frame and use them as visual guides in frame 2. At this stage, most of the work is slow and very incremental. You're not trying to perfectly match the exact midpoint mathematically, but rather to find a position that feels right in motion. A good habit here is to focus on the silhouette first. Even without colors or details, the pose should read clearly when the animation plays. Don't be afraid to move things pixel by pixel, preview the animation, then go back and adjust again. This kind of back and forth is completely normal and part of the process. It's also very easy to overdo the interpolation. Sometimes, a subtle adjustment works better than a big movement. Take your time, trust your eye, and let the animation guide your decisions. As you can see, the process is simple to explain, but much more time-consuming to apply. First, create visual guides, such as pseudo-rigs or small pieces from the surrounding frames. Second, visually interpolate where those elements should be placed. Third, correct and clean up any distortions. And finally, test the fluidity of the new frame. I hope this tutorial, even though it's very basic, was helpful. I'll leave you now with a fast-paced time-lapse of the entire process, which took approximately 5 hours. Thanks for watching and see you next time.